New developments in the arrest of a Broward County judge. The charges could be dropped.
Also at 11, the prosecution wraps up its case against a South Florida teacher. Some graphic testimony regarding her relationship with a former student.
We have new numbers on air travel. Are customers flying again? Plus, you probably know some people who can eat and never gain weight. Could their genes hold the secret to a new diet pill?
Don No has your weekend forecast. Any chance it will cool down? Find out after Once and Again. Tonight at 11, the battle at Tora Bora and the search for Osama bin Laden. Plus, a famous painting is back on display in South Florida. Join us after a new Once and Again.
Either I'm peeing or my water broke.
Tonight after Once and Again. Wish you could eat whatever you wanted and never gain a pound? I'm Christy Kruger. Research is underway to create a drug that could give you a skinny gene. How close is science to giving you the body you've always wanted? Tonight at 11 on Channel 10 News.
When you want more details on breaking news stories, log on to click10.com.
Live streaming video. Breaking news first. Breaking news when you need it.
Get it first. Log on to click10.com.
Next Friday,
I'm Erin Brockovich. I'm in New York City in Lower Manhattan.
a test of the American spirit,
Here's the challenge right here.
a race against time,
6 days.
and a challenge to help the children affected by September 11th.
I can't tell you the pride I'm feeling.
Challenge America with Erin Brockovich, next Friday, 10/9 Central on ABC.
Once and Again will continue in a moment here on ABC.
Tonight at 11, the search for Osama bin Laden. He may be running out of time and places to hide. Our next war briefing in 30 minutes.
Also ahead, graphic testimony from a teenager about his friend's relationship with a teacher.
And those people who eat a lot and stay thin might be able to help the rest of us. New research in 30 minutes. Up next, a local judge might avoid some embarrassing charges, but her version of the truth is still in doubt.
A young hero helps a girl escape during an attempted abduction.
And those people who stay naturally thin could hold the key to a breakthrough diet pill. All next.
Get over here. From all of us at Once and Again, we wish you a happy and healthy holiday season, and I hope you share it with people you love.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy New Year. Happy winter solstice.
Happy Wicked Midwinter Festival.
What's that?
Tonight on Channel 10 News, it is some of the fiercest fighting yet. The battle for Tora Bora and the search for Osama bin Laden.
And next thing you know, I see her giving him oral sex.
Graphic testimony from a witness in the trial of a former teacher accused of having sex with a student.
A Broward County judge might avoid criminal charges, but what are deputies saying about her version of the truth?
A child nearly abducted while walking home from school, but a young hero came to the rescue.
The airline industry gets a lift off the ground, and the search for the so-called skinny gene could help you, even if you don't have it.
Live from WPLG, this is Channel 10 News.
Tonight it appears time may be running out for Osama bin Laden and the al-Qaeda forces in Afghanistan. U.S. Special Forces attacking areas in the Tora Bora Mountains now believe that al-Qaeda forces may be running out of food, water, and ammunition. Some prisoners have been captured, but between 300 and 1,000 fighters are believed still contained in the valleys. And Marines at the Kandahar airport have discovered a series of caves underneath the runway. Most of today's action took place in the mountains near Tora Bora, where it's believed bin Laden and his men are hiding. U.S. bombers hit that area hard, and hostile forces returned fire from a nearby ridge. U.S. officials believe they had bin Laden in a squeeze. On one side, Afghan and U.S. forces are chasing him. On the other side, Pakistani troops are waiting in case bin Laden tries to cross the border.
We can wait longer than they can, and we'll maintain pressure on this pocket of al-Qaeda until they are ours.
General Franks does not rule out taking bin Laden alive.
We certainly do have a plan in place for either the capture of bin Laden or the capture of any of the other people which you have seen on our list.
U.S. Marines took over the Kandahar City Airport and immediately checked it for caves under the runway and minefields on nearby roads. Any sign of remaining Taliban troops.
All you need is one or two individuals that decide to take out a high-value target, for instance, an airplane coming in, that could cause a lot of casualties.
Now, those Marines will be replaced by 1,000 U.S. Army troops at the airport. They will convert it into a staging center for relief supplies.
Tonight, the White House is putting the diplomatic squeeze on Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat. This comes after bombs fell for a third straight night. Israeli F-16s dropped 2 bombs on a Palestinian police building today, a few hundred yards from Arafat's presidential palace. Israeli forces killed a man on their most wanted list and arrested 35 suspected Islamic militants in other parts of the territories. Arafat was in the West Bank town of Ramallah. President Bush sent him a message today.
Chairman Arafat has said that he intends to fight terror, to bring those to justice who are killing murderers in the Middle East, and now's his time to perform. The world expects Chairman Arafat to lead, and so do I.
President Bush added that Arafat must crack down on Islamic militants before any progress can be made in peace talks. A Palestinian spokesman blames the deadlock and escalating violence on the Israeli government.
In Washington tonight, officials are busy fumigating the Hart Senate office building once again. Trace amounts of anthrax were found today, 2 weeks after that building was fumigated to kill any lingering spores. Well, tonight, cleanup crews are trying to eliminate the contamination. The building's been closed since October 17th.
A South Florida teacher's defense team will be working next week to undo some of the damage done in court today. She is accused of having sex with a student, and the teenager's friend gave some graphic testimony today. Reporter Matt Lorch is live tonight outside the Broward County Courthouse with more. Matt?
In court, that friend talked about witnessing firsthand this teacher-student relationship. Stephen Erb tells the jury his presence in the backseat of a car didn't stop former teacher Beth Friedman from performing a sex act on his teenage friend who was behind the wheel at the time.
Next thing you know, I see her giving him oral sex. Beth was laying over in his lap.
Okay.
And just hear all these funny noises. And
Herb says it all happened during a road trip to Busch Gardens theme park in Tampa, where the teacher and teenagers shared a hotel room.
The sleeping arrangements was Donnie and Beth in one bed, and I was in the other.
The former Spanish teacher from Silver Lakes Middle in North Lauderdale is accused of having an 18-month affair with the student that started when he was a 7th grader.
I used to see them holding hands, or there was one time I seen her grab his butt.
What other observations did you make about the two of them?
That they were pretty crazy. That's about it.
Okay, and in what sense would you say that they were pretty crazy?
Adults and a kid.
Herb says Friedman won his friend over with gifts and drugs.
Pills such as Xanax, ecstasy. There was cocaine and alcohol.
During cross-examination, the 20-year-old admits to making inaccurate statements, saying he couldn't remember specific dates or details. But he says there's one image he'll never forget.
I am very sure that she was giving him oral sex at the day going to Busch Gardens.
Friedman's attorney says he will prove that the former teacher is innocent. He says he plans on calling 9 to 10 witnesses, but is uncertain if Friedman herself will take the stand. We're live at the Broward County Courthouse tonight. Matt Lorch, Channel 10 News.
A Broward County judge arrested for being drunk and disorderly may be off the hook, but police still question her story.
The Nassau County Sheriff's Department says if Judge Joyce Julian completes a 30-day alcohol rehabilitation program, it will consider dropping the charges. Julian was found drunk and naked from the waist down while attending a judges conference on Amelia Island near Jacksonville. The judge claimed that someone drugged her drink and tried to sexually assault her, but witnesses told deputies a different story. One hotel worker said that Julian, quote, was very intoxicated and that she stood up and pulled her pants off. Here is what her attorney says.
She's still standing behind her claim that she blacked out and has no recollection, but thanks them for having followed up on the investigation to try to at least bring some answers to those questions.
Once Julian has completed the rehab program, it will be up to the Broward's chief judge, that is, to determine if she can return to the bench.
Tonight, police are searching for a man who tried to kidnap a young girl, but she had a little help from a young hero. Police say the 12-year-old girl was walking along Southwest 304th Street in Southwest Miami-Dade when a man in a pickup truck offered her a ride.
The victim said that the subject approached her, asked her to get into the vehicle. When she refused, he got out of the vehicle and tried to force her into the vehicle. The 13-year-old boy came to her aid at that point. So we really do need to speak with him because we have to find out what happened. He might have a better description of the subject, and he might be a victim himself.
As you just heard, police need more information on the crime and on the young hero involved. If you think you can help, call Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers 305-471-TIPS.
A medical fraud scandal at a Sunrise clinic keeps growing. Now a seventh person has been charged. Ira Strickman, the most recent owner of the Sun State Doctors Center in Sunrise, faces healthcare fraud and conspiracy charges. Chiropractor Russell Posner and 5 others were indicted yesterday for scheming to overbill Medicare and insurance companies for unneeded services, including massages.
An associate of the Gambino crime family has been found guilty in the murder of a South Florida stripper. Ariel Hernandez was convicted today of the murder of Jeanette Smith. Investigators claim that Hernandez confessed to strangling Smith during sex and dumping her body in the Everglades. 22-year-old Smith's body was found stuffed inside a stereo box in a canal off Alligator Alley almost 2 years ago. She had worked as a dancer in several South Florida strip clubs. A serial number on the box led police to Hernandez.
The third of 5 convicted Cuban spies will spend 15 years in prison. Rene Gonzalez was sentenced today in a Miami federal courtroom. Gonzalez justified his covert work as an attack on terrorism plotted by Cuban exiles in Miami. 2 other members of that spy ring have already received life sentences.
A South Miami-Dade man remains in the hospital tonight after being bitten by his pet rattlesnake. This is the kind of snake we're talking about, an eastern diamondback rattlesnake. It is so deadly, we are told, that the victim had to be licensed to own it. The 45-year-old was rushed to Jackson South Community Hospital, where he was giving antivenin.
Only 20 days and counting until the Hurricanes meet the Cornhuskers in the Rose Bowl. Will Manso is here now with more on the matchup and on Nebraska's Heisman Trophy winner.
And Dwight, there will be a lot of talent on the field in the Rose Bowl, including 2 Heisman finalists, of course, the Canes' Ken Dorsey, and the Heisman winner, Eric Crouch. The Nebraska quarterback won the trophy after a spectacular senior season. Did a little of everything for the Huskers. He can pass, but he's a much better runner. The Miami defense is focused in on the challenge of shutting down the guy who won the Heisman.
There's obviously motivation because there's going to be so much hype around him and his performance. And, you know, if we shut down the best player in the nation, then obviously, you know, that's a little respect deserving our way. And so, yeah, I mean, there's some motivation to shut him down.
And a reminder, of course, you can see the Canes and Nebraska in the Rose Bowl right here on Channel 10 at 8 p.m. on Thursday, January 3rd, preceded by Sports Jam live from Pasadena at 7 p.m. Another big story tonight from basketball. ABC and ESPN are close to winning television rights for NBA games away from NBC. The league could announce the deal as soon as next week. ABC and ESPN would pay more than $1.3 billion for those television rights. Dwight?
Thank you, Will. Did you ever wonder why some people can eat a lot of food and never gain a pound?
I don't know why he's looking at me like that. Coming up, a new pill in the works could one day give you sweet dreams without the worry.
The controversy surrounding this work of art is forcing it off the walls of a South Florida museum, but not just yet.
I'm meteorologist Don. No, the weather is nice here in South Florida, but look, there are giant animated snowmen forming in the Northeast. All right, it's a cartoon. I wanted to wake you up. My weather forecast is still ahead on Channel 10 News.
And police stake out a bank leading to a shootout and a chase, and this story is not over. Stay with Channel 10 News.
I'm Ted Koppel. Coming up on Nightline, the Taliban took their husbands, their jobs, their rights, and their dignity. So where are they starting a new life? Would you believe Boise, Idaho?
Real-time closed captioning is brought to you by Rooms to Go. Decorate with one simple decision.
Monday beginning at 5 on Channel 10 News. Holiday joy can turn into holiday disaster in an instant.
As a parent, you have to be sort of a detective.
Hidden hazards are everywhere during the holidays. In her Good Health Report, Christy Kruger shows you the most effective ways to ensure a safe holiday season. Monday beginning at 5 on Channel 10 News.
The all-new 200 horsepower Acura RSX.
Okay, there. We have an image. I'm not sure if it's a boy or there's another one. And a third.
Got a big family? Then you need more phone lines. With Family Talk, Singular Wireless can deliver up to 3 additional lines for just $16.99 each. Plus, you can get a cool Nokia phone free. That's an incredible price to start a family. Talking. Singular Wireless. What do you have to say?
Don't wait any longer. 3 Red Hot days only. Now through Sunday at Verdine's. Red Hot. You better hurry. Savings of 20 to 50% throughout the Florida store. Plus extra Red Hot savings of 10 to 15% every day. Most every item. 3 days only. Red Hot and ready to go. Every floor. Every store. Red Hot values on Red Hot gift ideas. Red Hot ready to wrap at 20 to 50% off. Plus extra Red Hot savings of 10 to 15% every day. Most every item. It's Red Hot. You better hurry. Savings for 3 days only. Now through Sunday at Verdine's. The Florida store. Don't wait.
Into reality TV, high definition television. Made possible by Panasonic.
Monday. Usually adults reach out to children. Now one little lady is making a big difference in the life of a special woman. Magnum Sports has her story Monday at 6.
Police say 3 bank robbers were stopped in their tracks right before hitting another target. Investigators believe the men were about to rob the Wachovia Bank on West Hallandale Boulevard when police officers moved in to arrest them. Several shots were fired and the suspects took off in their car. One was shot in the hand. That man and another were caught in a nearby parking lot. A third suspect remains on the loose tonight. He is 19-year-old Chauncey Holmes, according to police. They say they've been investigating all 3, and they say they're connected to a series of bank robberies. If you know the suspect's whereabouts, call Broward Crime Stoppers 954-493-TIPS.
An art masterpiece stolen by the Nazis is back on display in Miami's Vizcaya Museum. The 500-year-old painting, Holy Trinity, Seat of Mercy, was donated to the museum in 1980 and had been in storage since 1992. In September, it was confirmed it had been stolen from Poland during World War II. If you'd like to see it, you'd better go soon because the painting will be returned to Poland in January.
It seems Americans are always looking for a way to stay thin, and new genetic research is focusing on a breakthrough pill. Doctors are focusing on those people who are able to eat and never gain a pound. Oof. Channel 10 News anchor Christy Kruger tells us researchers may be onto a sweet gene come true.
Tatiana Cavero is the kind of person we love to hate.
I watch my diet, but yes, I believe I'm the kind of person that I'm privileged, that I can eat whatever I want and then still not gaining weight.
She even has a sweet tooth.
My favorite, I would say apple pie. I just love apple pie and ice cream, especially in summertime.
New research shows there may be something separating people like Tatiana from the rest of us. A skinny gene.
There are a lot of things involved in how much someone weighs. Certainly genetics is part of it.
Some researchers in Sweden have just released this information about a new gene they're calling the FOXC2. They say that gene may explain why some people can eat whatever they want and never gain weight.
In the study, 2 groups of mice were fed the very same high-fat diet. Those with high levels of the FOXC2 gene gained less weight and had smaller fat cells.
I think it would be very promising in the future for both diabetes and weight management if it transfers to humans.
That's a big F because people don't have the same fatty tissue as mice. But scientists are already at work on a pill to mimic this skinny gene for people who may be missing it.
It would be great, but there's always that big but that, well, our bodies still need vitamins and minerals and fiber and these things to function properly. It's not only how fat or how skinny are you, but how healthy are you.
Tatiana could not agree more.
I think the most important is how you feel inside of you, not what you look outside.
Christy Kruger, Channel 10 News.
Oh, a little audio problem there. That was Christy Kruger reporting. Even if this gene does exist in people and can be regulated through medication, experts point out that what we weigh isn't only about genetics. Activity level, metabolism, hormonal changes, diseases, and of course, our diet all affect our weight.
Are you looking for something to do this weekend to get into the holiday spirit? Well, don't miss the annual Winterfest Boat Parade. Finishing touches are being put on the illuminated boats that will sail along Fort Lauderdale's Intracoastal tomorrow night. This one is being decorated as a tribute to the fallen firefighters in the World Trade Center attacks. The parade will affect several bridges in the area now. The Southeast 17th Street Causeway will be up from 6:30 until 8:30 p.m. You won't be able to use Sunrise Boulevard from 7:30 until 9:30. Commercial Boulevard will be affected for more than 2 hours. The Las Olas Boulevard Bridge will be up for 2 hours, and Oakland Park Boulevard will be tied up from 8 until 10 p.m. Now, you can find out everything you need to know about the event. Just go to our web channel, click10.com.
And Don No has more on the holidays for us. Lights at 11. What do you have tonight?
Well, we're going to Wilton Manors, which is just north of Fort Lauderdale, and we have a home up there, the Steigerwald family home on Northeast 8th Avenue and 24th Street. This home features more than 4,000 lights. We've got animated electric reindeer and Santa Claus. Even Sky 10 is featured at this home. And the Steigerwalds say they've been working on this thing since September. I wonder if it takes them until April to take it down. Anyway, you can show off your home. Go to click10.com and leave us a contact number. Send us a digital picture. If you're thinking your home is just as good as the Steigerwalds or better, that's the way you can get your home on Lights at 11. All right, let's take a look at what's going on in the weather. This is the western part of the United States. Underneath the clouds, it is coldest here, snowing in the Sierra Nevada, in the state of Nevada, also in northern Utah. All the way across the country, you pick up more snow. This is Michigan, a mixture of snow and freezing rain across southern Canada into northern New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, where snow advisories are in effect. You get a lot of phone calls right now asking me, is it going to be snowy up in the Northeast? I'm going up for Christmas and everything. Too early to tell, but things are changing, and it definitely is going to be colder out there in the next week than it has been in the prior 2 weeks. Temperatures in the 70s in South Florida. Humidity is 79%. Wind is east at 7, and no rainfall on the rain gauge. High 83, the low 73. Record highs are 85 and 35 a year apart. 1 year it was warm, next year it was cold. This is a faltering front, to use a phrase with F's in it, and it has moved to the north and to the east and lost most of its moisture in its punch. The next front behind it is the one that has a chance of getting through here Monday night or Tuesday. Right now, temperatures on the east side of the front are warm. The west side of the front are not really terribly cold, but just sort of normal for this time of year. Here's what's going to happen. The west is going to continue with their snowy weather out there as they have a big upper level trough. But the trough will be kind of gradually moving across the country here and manifest itself in a low pressure area, which is going to kind of take its time, sit in Texas for a while over the weekend, not reach us. We should have a breezy weekend, especially on Sunday. Tomorrow should be really nice. It'll be great weather for the Winterfest Boat Parade in Fort Lauderdale tomorrow night. That front, by the way, may come through on Tuesday. Caribbean temperatures displayed there. We have South American temperatures here. These are all forecast conditions for the day tomorrow. If you're going to the beach, moderate to high amount of sunshine, east wind 10 to 15. Should be a very good beach day tomorrow with a temperature in the air about 80 and the surf temperature 78. East at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, moderate chop, and there is that surf temperature I mentioned, the high and low tide at Government Cut. Mostly clear, maybe a late night shower tonight, 66 inland, 73 along the coast. Tomorrow should be a good amount of sunshine. It'll be warm, the high temperature 82. Tomorrow night should be a delightful evening for the parade. And beyond that, Sunday and Monday look to be continued warm. Front coming through Tuesday, cooler, not colder, but we still may get colder by Christmas. Kelly.
All right, thank you, Don. The airline industry is trying to bounce back.
Is the holiday boost enough to get struggling companies out of the troubled skies? Plus, a major shipment of food is on its way to Cuba. What does this mean for the embargo? We'll take a look.
Channel 10 Weather is brought to you by Aventura Mall. The search is over.
Aventura Mall gift certificates available at the Guest Relations Center. 250 stores, endless possibilities.
Huge Saturday and Sunday savings at El Dorado Furniture. $100, $300, $500 off. The more you buy, the greater the discount on the largest selection of all new furniture. Or choose no payments, no interest for a year. Huge Saturday and Sunday savings at El Dorado.
At 1-800-Flowers.com, nothing makes us feel better than helping you to express yourself with warm holiday gifts like a beautiful bouquet, a candy cane covered tree or wreath of fragrant balsam, a Lennox snowman cookie jar, an eye-catching centerpiece, and fun for the child in all of us. There are gifts that'll keep coming all year long, and treats so delicious, they'll be gone before you know it. Call, click, or come into 1-800-Flowers.com today. And thanks for letting us be a part of your holiday.
The BMW X5, another ultimate driving machine.
Huge Saturday and Sunday savings at El Dorado Furniture. 100, 300, 500 off. The more you buy, the greater the discount on the largest selection of all new furniture. Or choose no payments, no interest for a year. Huge Saturday and Sunday savings at El Dorado.
The lawsuit over the drowning of a Kendall boy in the Bahamas will be heard here in South Florida. 12-year-old Chad Humphrey was snorkeling at the Atlantis Resort in August of 2000 when he was sucked into the intake pipe. Today, a federal judge ruled that case should be tried in Miami because it would be a bigger burden for his family to travel to the Bahamas for the trial, and Atlantis does a lot of business here in South Florida.
A commercial food shipment is on its way to Cuba tonight from the U.S. for the first time in 38 years. The humanitarian aid will help Cuba recover from Hurricane Michelle. The Cuban government ordered the shipment and will pay for it, which is legal under provisions of the U.S. embargo. But some see Fidel Castro's purchase as a political ploy to erode and finally end the embargo.
When we passed the law allowing this to happen, he said, I will not buy one aspirin, I will not buy one grain of wheat from the United States until the entire embargo is lifted.
Meantime, 120,000 pounds of supplies sit in a Miami-Dade County warehouse tied up in red tape. Miami's archdiocese is waiting for final permission from Cuba for a charter flight to land.
An encouraging report shows that air travel is slowly getting back on track. The number of people flying is still far below last year at this time, but 38.7 million people flew in November. That's about 500,000 more passengers than in October. Those figures still fall about 20% under last year. Tourism in Central Florida is also getting a big boost. Experts say an ad campaign convinced tourists from South Florida and Atlanta to spend almost $9 million in just 5 weeks. Officials hope to bring in $174 million by May from those two markets alone. The Family Time, Family Place ads started running after the September 11th attacks to jumpstart the tourism business.
Coming up, they are cute, furry, and cuddly.
But today, some precious pups were cuffed and locked away by the Miami-Dade Police Department. We'll have that story later.
And next in sports, the latest on the future of the Miami Fusion. Plus the Heat back at home tonight trying to beat the first place Nets. All the highlights and more when Channel 10 News turns to sports.
Channel 10 Sports is brought to you by Wolfgang Puck Soups. Look for it in your local grocer.
Do you like soup? Me too. To make a great vegetable soup, you need at least 11 vegetables. Be so sweet. They taste like fresh kisses. Simmer it slowly with a lot of love. It takes time to make my thick country vegetable soup. But if you don't have time, I will come and do it for you. Because now you have 18 of my soups at your supermarket. So take me home with you. I'm no trouble, really.
You do a lot of running around. Chevrolet can help by making your time and money count. For the year-end event, Chevrolet is offering 0% financing on almost every new Chevy car and truck. That's 0% financing on select Chevy cars and trucks. That ought to add a little joy to your world. Make your money count now at your South Florida Chevy dealer.
Holiday time is here, and now's your chance to save at Carl's glorious holiday home sale with spectacular savings on the most unique collections of designer furniture. And you pay nothing, no interest, nothing for 6 months. Incredible savings, incredible selection. Buy yourself something special at Carl's glorious holiday home sale on now. Don't miss it.
Imagine a remarkable winemaker who taught his grandchildren everything he knew. Now imagine his grandchildren arriving in Sonoma, California's premier wine region, and within 10 years winning Winery of the Year in California, Gold in France, Gold in Italy, Best Chardonnay in the world in London. These are the new Sonoma wines of Gina and Matt Gallo. Gallo of Sonoma, new generation, world class.
I believe I should get all my calls, even with 2 teenage daughters.
I believe in choosing a local phone company that handles all my calls.
I believe my online time should not interrupt my phone time.
Now you have a choice in local phone service. AT&T Broadband can save you up to 24% on what you may be paying now. So call 800-280-3481 and get free installation of 2 free months of local service.
I believe I will.
AT&T Broadband. Believe in it.
The Heat were on the home court tonight. The good news is they got another player back.
They got Kendall Gill back. The bad news is they just keep losing. This is getting painful to watch. You start feeling for Pat Riley and the team because they're the worst team in the NBA.
Oh,
yeah, there's no other way to put it. Yeah, the record proves it. Hard to believe that the Heat entered the night in last place in the Atlantic Division, while the Nets entered the night in first place. It's usually the opposite. Miami already 9 games back in New Jersey. Heat off to a kick start. Jim Jackson goes strong to the bucket, led Miami with 24 points. They built a 4-point halftime lead. Lonzo Mourning with 2 of his 9 points, also had 10 rebounds and 5 blocks. But there's always a but this season for the Heat. It was all Nets in the second half. Kenyon Martin tells Brian Grant to get out of his way with the big slam and foul. Miami drops to 4-17 on the season after the 95-86 loss. Pat Riley said afterwards, everything went wrong.
I just think we got our outplayed, outcoached, outmoved. You know, they just were outdunked, outran, out everything. That was it. I'm not going to say my guys quit on it. They didn't quit on it. They just got outclassed.
That pretty much explains it. Well, on the ice, the Panthers playing in New Jersey tonight. That's usually not good news. The Cats hadn't beat the Devils in New Jersey since November of 1997. That's a total of 9 straight games without a win in Jersey, but a good start tonight. Marcus Nielsen with the goal. 2-0 Cats on top in the second. Move to the third period. Ivan Novoselic with the pretty wraparound goal. Watch this move and score. Panthers were up 3-0. Devils made a furious comeback, but with time running down, Trevor Kidd's going to make a flurry of saves here. The Cats hold on to finally win in New Jersey, 3-2, the final. But it has been a tense 24 hours for the entire Fusion organization. Just yesterday, a number of broadcast and published reports indicated the team would be eliminated by Major League Soccer today. But the league issued a morning statement saying no decision has been made. MLS Commissioner Don Garber said that any decision on the future of teams will be made by the end of the year. Fusion maintained they're going on with business as usual. Strange story out of college football today. George O'Leary resigned as Notre Dame's head football coach. He was hired by the Irish just 5 days ago. Former Georgia Tech coach admitted he lied about his academic and athletic background. O'Leary claimed to have a master's degree in education and to have played college football for 3 years. But checks into his background showed neither was true. All the information was a biography released by Notre Dame when he was hired. This is a shocker to everyone involved.
It's kind of shocking at first. I got the message this morning on my phone, turned on ESPN, and I saw it on there. And it's kind of shocking. 5 days into it, he had to resign.
Kevin White's on that manhunt now, so I mean, I guess he's gonna, come up with some candidates, and I'm sure he's already got a list.
Now, O'Leary released a statement saying, in part, quote, "Due to selfish and thoughtless acts many years ago, I have embarrassed Notre Dame, its alumni, and fans," end quote. Dolphins have one of the better defenses in football, and they'll need to play well Sunday. Miami has the challenge of stopping one of the better receivers in the NFL. The 49ers' Terrell Owens leads the league with 13 touchdown receptions. He's the complete package with speed and power. It's no secret the Niners will look to throw. The Miami defensive players hope to be up to the challenge.
Terrell Owens and J.J. Stokes and Jeff Garcia are as good as Manning, Harrison and whoever else the Colts have. So it's a big test for us.
You just got to go out and make sure we don't give up any big plays, man. We can keep everything in front of us and eliminate big plays. I think that defensively that's putting us in a better position to win.
It's going to be a tough game because the 49ers have one of those offenses, the few in the league that I think can go up and score points against the Dolphins. Hence, the Dolphins will need to score points as well, obviously trying to build off that momentum from Monday night.
So does that mean the Dolphins come out throwing the ball as opposed to trying to control the clock and running it?
Yeah, they've been hard to predict of late. When you think they're going to try to run and set up Lamar Smith, they throw. So I think they'll try to mix it up and keep the ball out of the Niners' hands. That would be the best idea because if you give them enough shots, they're going to score points.
And the Heat get right back to it tomorrow night. They go to Houston and play the Rockets.
Oh, wow.
So they don't have long to think about the defeat.
Yeah, I know.
Right back
that's
to work
That's the good news.
Thank you, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Dozens of pets are now up for adoption just in time for the holidays.
Find out how you can get your hands on one of these little cute ones next.
Huge Saturday and Sunday savings at El Dorado Furniture. 100, 300, 500 off. The more you buy, the greater the discount on the largest selection of all new furniture. Or choose no payments, no interest for a year. Huge Saturday and Sunday savings at El Dorado.
They say it started very small, as most dreams do. Then the dream began to grow and come alive, touching every one of us, lighting up the sky.
Join us this year as we celebrate the 100th birthday of the man who started it all. Make your plans at DisneyWorld.com.
We share a dream come true.
Last year, I ordered my costume on a cell phone. I know I said Santa suit, but with the static.
I'm Panda Claus! Help me, elves!
You know, the show must go on.
Help Panda Claus into the chair. Okay, bring the kids.
That's when I finally got free and clear with Sprint PCS, real clear calls, and nationwide long distance included, which is great for me, because I am Santa Claus, you know?
The Sprint PCS free and clear plan with nationwide long distance included, every minute, every day.
Question about DirecTV?
Yeah, I hear this thing gets like an insane amount of sports channels.
Hey, hon. What's up?
You're absolutely right, sir. With DirecTV, you and your family can enjoy wonderful educational channels together.
I'll let you guys talk.
Here's the pitch.
We know how you feel, and that's why you'll get DirecTV installed in 2 rooms with 2 receivers for just $49.99 after mail-in rebate when you sign up for 12 months of DirecTV programming. Circuit City, we're with you.
Huge Saturday and Sunday savings at El Dorado Furniture. 100, 300, 500 off. The more you buy, the greater the discount on the largest selection of all new furniture. Or choose no payments, no interest for a year. Huge Saturday and Sunday savings at El Dorado.
In our nightcap, dozens of orphaned puppies want you to take them home for the holidays. Miami-Dade Animal Control is putting these puppies up for adoption. Future owners only have to pay $8.25 for a puppy that already has been spayed or neutered. And if a puppy is not your thing, there are also hundreds of kittens for adoption. The animals also have a microchip embedded under their skin, so if they ever get lost, they can be traced. Did you find one there that you like? I'm sure.
Lots of awes here, of course, but with my cats, I don't think so.
How many now?
4. That's all for now. Nightline is
between
next.
4 and 5? You can wake up to Channel 10 News at 8 a.m. Good night.
You've been watching Channel 10 News. WPLG, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
This is a Nightline Friday night special.
We know how they've been treated for years. They've lost their husbands, their jobs, their dignity.
The women come very much from a culture of just being invisible.
But can you imagine escaping all of that and landing in America, in Boise?
I had never heard of Boise, Idaho.
What do we call the tooth doctor? Dentist.
Starting over.
And they realize, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to pay my rent soon. The cash assistance is going to be running out.
The big change is that my kids are going to school and I have a good life.
Tonight, women on the verge, reclaiming their lives.
From ABC News, this is Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ted Koppel.